let's see today's lovely boiled eggs in a gravy or boiled egg masala recipe. Now here I've got 4 hard boiled eggs. Like I said, watch the video till the end, so I'll show you how to make these 4 boiled eggs. And now with a sharp serrated knife, I'm just going to cut them up into halves and set them aside. So now I'm going to prep up my other ingredients. So I'm going to be using 1 medium-sized onion, which I'm going to chop fine. Next, I'm going to use 1 green chili, which I'm going to be chopping fine. 1 tomato. And I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of fresh coriander leaves. So I'm going to be chopping that fine too. So all our fresh ingredients are ready. Now in a pan, I'm going to take about 1 tablespoon of oil. Once the oil is nice and hot on a low to medium flame, I'm going to add the green chili. This will flavor the oil. And now I'm going to add the onion. We're going to saute the 2 of them till the onion becomes nice and translucent. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. I'll leave a recipe of how I prepare my ginger garlic paste at home. Then I'm going to add only half the quantity of the fresh coriander leaves. This really flavors the dish very well. And we're going to leave the other half for the garnish. So I'm going to saute all of this really well. And now I'm going to add the tomato that we chopped fine. We're going to mix all of this really nicely. So this dish gets ready really quickly. So if you don't want to prepare something really elaborate, although you want to have something delicious, this is the ideal dish. And now I'm just going to cover and cook this for about 3 minutes till the tomatoes become nice and soft. And after 3 minutes, we're just going to mix everything again. Now the tomatoes have become a little nice and soft and mushy. Now we're going to add a few masalas. So I'm going to start by adding 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. Now you can also substitute the Kashmiri red chili powder with some paprika. Mix all of this well together. And I'm just going to add about a 1/4 cup or 1/4 cup of water because we want to cook all of this and we want a slight gravy for this masala, this egg masala. So we're going to just mix everything together, and again we're going to cover and cook this for another 3 minutes. Now after 3 minutes, we're just going to mash up all of this. So I'm going to be using my Bhaji masher, or you can use a potato masher, and we're going to mash up everything till all of it becomes really, really nice and into a thick kind of a gravy. So now you can see that all of it is nicely mashed up and it's all come together really well. And now I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of water because we do want a little bit of a gravy. And now we're just going to add a few more ingredients. So I'm going to be adding half a teaspoon of cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, a pinch of homemade garam masala. I'll leave a link of how I made my garam masala at home, some salt to taste, and the remaining coriander, the fresh coriander. We're going to mix all of this nicely together. And now we're going to add the boiled eggs, which we've cut up into halves. Place them very gently into this gravy. And then with a spoon, we're just going to put a little bit of the gravy on top of the eggs, very gently. We don't want to break the eggs. And then again, we're just going to cover and cook this for about another 2 to 3 minutes so everything comes together really well. And that's it, guys. Our lovely egg masala or boiled egg in a gravy is all ready, and just garnish it with a sprig of coriander and you're all set. So this dish goes really well with some roti or puri or chapati, or even with some pao, or even with some rice. It tastes really, really delicious. And like I said, I'm going to show you how I hard boil eggs. It's super simple. So let's get started with how to boil eggs to the perfect hard boil consistency. So what I do is I first place the eggs in a large bowl of water and I put it onto the heat, and I let this water come to a boil on a medium to high flame. And when it starts boiling vigorously like this, we're going to let it boil for a good 5 whole minutes. And after that, I'm going to turn the flame off and I'm going to let the eggs remain in this water till the water comes to room temperature. And once it's come to room temperature, I'm just going to put them under some cold water, running water. And then once they're nice and cool, I'm just going to remove the peel like this. It comes off very, very easily. Without any effort. And that's it. We've got these beautiful hard-boiled eggs.
canción para mi gente, con una pasión tan fuerte. Ay, 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 ahora sigo cantando y sigo gozando, yo sigo cantando y sigo gozando.
So here I have 100 grams of broken wheat called dalia or lapshi rava. It's easily available in general stores and is very reasonable too. Now here I have half a cup of guar jaggery, also called palm jaggery or made se god. I've just grated it using a cheese grater. Now I'm also going to be using half a cup of sugarcane jaggery or the general, yellow jaggery that you get in stores. This is 1 cup of thick coconut milk, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of cardamom or elaichi powder. I've just used 3 cardamoms and ground them to a fine powder after peeling it. And 1/4 cup of chopped nuts. That is, I've used cashew nuts and almonds. And we're going to use about 3 or 4 teaspoons of ghee or clarified butter. So let's start with today's lovely recipe. Now I'm going to first heat a pan and I'm going to add this dalia or broken wheat, and we're going to dry roast this for at least 5 whole minutes on a low to medium flame, stirring continuously. So don't leave it unattended, but just stir it continuously. This is very important, so don't skip this step. We need to roast this dalia really well. Now you'll see after 5 to 10 minutes it will change, after 5 minutes rather, it will change into a little darker brown color. Now I'm going to add the thick coconut milk and we're going to stir the two really well together. Now this coconut milk is going to cook the dalia. It's very similar like when you're making something with rava. You add the milk and you let it cook. Now we're going to add the lovely flavor of the goa jaggery and also the sugarcane jaggery. So now we're going to mix this well till the jaggery nicely melts and mixes up with the rest of the mixture. That's very important. And you will see that as it starts cooking, you'll get this lovely dark brown color. As the goa jaggery starts cooking with the rest of the ingredients, you'll get a lovely dark color to this those bhaji or lapshi. Now we're going to add the cardamom powder or the elaichi powder. So I've just peeled 3 cardamoms and then ground it in my mortar and pestle to a very fine powder, or you can use ready-made elaichi powder. Now I'm just going to add a few drops of ghee, say about 3 or 4 teaspoons of clarified butter or ghee. This will enhance the flavor of the dish as well as give it a lovely texture. And now I'm just going to stir the mixture on a low to medium heat, stirring continuously for about 5 to 7 minutes. And you will see that the consistency of this mixture will turn, it will change, it will start thickening, and then you'll get this ghee on the edges. Just scrape it off and, get it to the center like I'm doing when I'm stirring, like that. And just keep stirring continuously. Don't leave it unattended. You can control the heat by making it from low to medium to high, and then after some time, after 5 to 7 minutes, you'll see that the whole thing has come together like this. And those bhaji is ready. You can put the flame off, and now I'm just brushing a plate. You can also use a mold or a bowl, and I'm just going to transfer this into that bowl, and you can see how thick the mixture has become. And now with the spatula, I'm just going to flatten the top using any flat, you can use a vati also or a spatula like this. And now all we have to do is just garnish it with some chopped nuts. Now I've used cashew nuts and almonds, but you can use any dry fruits or nuts of your choice. I've just chopped them up roughly, and I'm just going to garnish it with the chopped nuts. And then we have to refrigerate this for at least 2 to 3 hours till it sets nicely, because then we're going to cut it up into whatever desired shape and serve it. So this is really delicious, and it's also very healthy. So I'm going to put it into my refrigerator to set for about 2 to 3 hours or even longer. You can even keep it overnight. And you will see after 2 to 3 hours, it nicely thickens and sets really well. And now we're just going to cut it up. So I'm cutting it up just into 4s. You can even cut it up into squares. If you're putting it into a square mold, the choice is yours. And you can see that it's nice and all ready to eat. So give this recipe a try, guys. Now I've taken about a cup of rice flour. To that I'm adding a little bit of salt to taste. I'm going to mix the salt and the flour well, and then I'm going to add a little hot water and just mix the flour very, very well. Now you have to add a little water at a time. Mix the flour. So say for 1 cup of rice flour, I used about half a cup of hot water. So just add a little at a time, and then you should be able to knead this into a very smooth and soft dough. Now the kneading process is very important. So you can set a timer and knead this flour for at least 3 to 4 minutes. But once you get when you knead it very well, you'll get a very smooth consistency, and the dough will also come together very well. So keep kneading this for about 3 to 4 minutes. Then you'll get a dough like this, which is very smooth, very elastic, and you can really work with it very, very easily. Now I've divided the dough into 2 parts. I've taken a little bit of rice flour. I've just dusted my surface with it. And I'm just rolling the dough to become a little bit smooth. And then I'm just put it into a little bit of rice flour. And then between the palms of my hands, I'm just, flipping it so that I get a little bit of a flat consistency. And then using your fingers like this, just smoothen out the edges. And as you do that, the center also spreads out. So you don't need to really concentrate on the center, but as you go around in this manner with your fingers, the center also smoothens out. And then just smoothen out the edges also. Well, of all the bhakris that I've made out of jwari and bajri and natsani, I find that rice flour is the most easiest to work with. So spread it out as much as you can. And then with a rolling pin, you can just go over it. This is completely optional. And then I have my pan heating up. See that your pan is also nice and hot. So, preheat it for about like a minute or so on a low to medium flame. And now I'm just going to gently place this on the pan, and I'm going to brush a little bit of water. Now you can use your hands, or if you have a brush like this, just brush a little bit of water all over the bhakri evenly. Now you can increase your flame from low to medium and let the underside cook. You will come to know because you'll get this lovely aroma of the rice flour. Then just flip it over. Let the other side also cook well, and then you will see you'll get these little kind of, air kind of pockets, and then you just directly roast it on your flame using a pair of tongs or pincers. Now you have your flame has to be more on the higher side, and then you'll get this kind of a little bit of black kind of marks on it. And that's it, friends. Your bhakri is all ready. Don't roast it too much also, otherwise it will become really very like a papad kind of consistency. So you'll come to know that it's good because you'll get this lovely aroma of the rice flour. And then just dab it with a little bit of ghee.